Hello and welcome to today's web seminar, Building Quality Software, the AI-Driven Testing Approach, sponsored by QMetry, featuring Sam Panwar and Deepak Parmar. I'm Harry Gagnon and I will be the technical support for today's webinar. Before the presentation begins, let me explain this console. The panel on the right has a feature to chat, ask questions, and download handouts. If you minimize this panel, just click on the chat button to reopen it. There's a download of the slides and handouts in the handout section as well. The polls are also located in the chat panel. If you experience any technical issues, please send an admin a private chat message and we'll be happy to help you. This event is being recorded and will be made available to watch on demand. Once the recording is ready, you'll get an email with instructions about how to access the presentation. Finally, to optimize your bandwidth for the best viewing experience, please close any other applications you have running in the background. And with that, I'd like to welcome and introduce our first speaker, Deepak Parmar. Deepak leads the marketing organization at QMetry, the #1 AI-enabled digital quality platform. He loves to engage technologists, business leaders, thought leaders, and storytellers in meaningful conversations. Through this, he explores new trends, articulates best practices, and connects cutting-edge technology to market needs in the software quality domain. He has managed the launch and growth of SaaS-based software quality products, as well as software security products over the last decade and a half. Deepak, you have the floor.
Thank you, Harry. Thanks for this kind introduction. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who is joining from wherever across the globe. Today we are in conversation with Samandeep Panwar, Sam, as is better known as, and the conversation, as Harry mentioned, is going to be about building software quality, with AI-driven testing, right? So that's going to be our focus. And Sam, I'm very excited about this conversation. Sam brings a lot of experience in software quality. He's a great human being and a good friend. And I wanted to have this conversation for a long while, and we have finally got this opportunity. Sam leads quality practices and quality projects at Holiday Inn Club Vacations, and he has successfully managed many projects. As one of his great passion, he has spent a lot of time on researching and studying about software quality in fintech. And in today's conversation, I will converse with him on this more. Sam, welcome on this conversation. Lovely to have you here. I hope I did some justice to introducing you. Please have a stage the stage is for you. Just give tell audience more about you at this stage.
I appreciate, Deepak. Thank you so much, for giving me opportunity to converse on such interesting, and hot area of the quality assurance right now, specifically fintech and AI, because it's a passion for me. And just to add to what you just said, so I'm doing my second MS from University of Central Florida right now, and it's actually in fintech. So I'm about to graduate in December, and I'm learning a lot about AI, machine learning, NLP, crypto, blockchain. Like, we are focusing so much on literally the fintech industry and how it interacts with AI and machine learning. And one big thing which every professor and every guest speaker talks about is quality assurance, because literally all these unicorns and startups of the industry, right? They start things, but then they struggle at the quality of the products because not everyone makes it through. Startups start and then they struggle, and scaling and quality is a big part of it. So I'm happy, to Achievement, because it's such an interesting topic, which is very, very near to my own passion right now.
Fantastic, Sam. So let's jump into the overall conversation today. Friends, we are going to focus on a free-flowing conversation. While there is a certain flow that we want to focus on, so we will talk about software, the current state of software quality. From there, we will jump on to, what is the software quality challenges in fintech industry vertical as specific. We will also talk about how AI is changing the software quality paradigm. Uh, and then we will also talk about, the how AI is bringing about solutions to the fintech quality challenges, right? So that is something that we will cover. And then we will also touch base on features and use cases that testing tools need, which are AI driven. And finally, I will spend a couple of minutes explaining you all what QMetry is doing as far as its AI initiative. And with that, let me quickly bring all of us up to date in terms of what is the state of software quality. And again, this is a snapshot of the software quality landscape right now. Uh, some key points that I've taken from various research articles, and my conversations with our customers at QMetry. So if you really look at it, the as per Gartner, the market is growing. It's $50.7 billion market. That it will be a $50.7 billion market by 2025, and it's growing at a pretty good rate, I would say. But that's not an important factor. The important factor is it's while this market, this is the quality market, software quality market. It has a huge impact in terms of the business outcomes, right? A smaller failure can lead to a big business impact, and that's where software quality is so important. And that's where, if you see the second stat, 87% of IT executives believe that software quality is critical to their business success, and which is the reality, right? So now, if you what IBM did is, they did a research, and based on their research, 80 they found that a defect cost $18,000 a year. So that's just one defect. Now, if you talk about, if there are multiple defects, the cost to organization would be humongous, right? So that's another factor. Now, switch it in terms of what organizations are doing to really achieve a better state of software quality. So 79% of the organizations which were researched and surveyed, we found that there are 79% of them are agile oriented. They've already moved towards agile development processes. 62% of the organizations have moved into DevOps, and I think the digital momentum has really sped up this entire activity, and it's not going to stop. It's going to go unabated. uh, there's a higher rate of test automation that we are seeing, and I think it, while it says 50% at this at current rate, I believe with the advent of AI and the tools becoming more AI centric, I think this is going to be much higher. And it's very simple, because if you really look at it today, the initiatives, the release cycles are getting shorter. That you have very short sprints, and you have so much software to deliver. And if you take all this into context, it's test automation is going to be the main thing in coming times, right? So and more automation will speed up the entire process. Uh, Sam, this is just a snapshot. What's your observation, and what's your personal experience saying? Can you share with the audience what this number means to you, and what more you have seen, from your experience?
No, absolutely. I'll start with one stat that the QA team at Holiday Inn Club Vacation is around 32 people, right? Like, and that talks about the importance we put to quality assurance at the company, right? Our competition is with, we are a timeshare company. Our competition is with folks like Wyndham, Marriott's, Hilton's, and those are big names. So in order to actually sustain in this competitive environment, we want to make sure that our applications, which are customer centric, are actually are driven by quality. And the challenge is, so we are agile, we follow DevOps to the core, but we still, I think, face all the common challenges with industries facing right now. Then, uh, getting good test data for testing our applications. then the scalability you have, because once a product goes live, right, how can you scale it, and what's the measure to scale it, right? What's your reference point that defines your scalability, right? And then the time to market, like how, because with agile comes the speed, and with speed you sometimes actually bypass certain best practices. So overall, like if I had to touch, right, let's talking about test data, then what's the quality of your test data, how you managing the privacy of it, because that again comes to compliance too, because you want to make sure that your test data is as closest to production, but then of course you cannot use production data. Big problem for everyone. And then we do masking, we do some scrambling, and we get that scrambled and masked data to our non-prod environments. And but then how often are you updating it, right? And this is I think, I have been taking right feedback from my team time to time, and the test data creation, management, and retrieval is literally the top in their list. That's the most time they spend even before they actually start testing. And what do we do about it, and we do have our internal processes which we have optimized, right? We do before even creating a test plan for a new project, we do a test exploration, which is a test strategy document, which is literally to identify these points, right? What data we will use, how we'll create it, how we'll manage it, and the other thing is about what kind of testings you need to perform then, because then you need to make sure you are prepared for scalability too. And one big factor in scalability is uh, uh, what are your KPIs? Have you done performance testing? Are you planning to do load testing? Is your infrastructure capable enough to actually scale with you? These are some really, like, important. And another thing which at the end I want to touch is, with agile and DevOps integration comes automation, because DevOps core is continuous testing, which means you need to be running your test continuously. And what's the best way to do that is through automation. Automation not only through function for your functional tests, to your APIs too, because your APIs needs to be automated too. And then people have mobile devices, people need to do cross device, cross browser testing, and all of this can be automated. And there is so much out there which people can do, but are we doing it? How are we doing it? Are we following the best practices? Those are some big question in the quality industry right now.
Yeah, and I mean those are really important factors that you touched upon, and I think I wanted to talk more about the test data. You mentioned about limitation of using the production data, or so there's a big momentum going on the synthetic data side, right? And there are a lot of people claiming that they are able to provide, using AI, they are able to provide a lot of synthetic data. What is your take on that? Do you think that it's at a mature stage?
Yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, since I'll speak about a tool which is open source, so I think people can actually find it. And I learned it during this master's program, which is, there is a tool called Mokaru. It's like kangaroo, so I know Mokaru and something. It has an open API which you can embed in your test framework, and it can actually generate what you call synthetic data. I have used it. It's really, like, it's good. But then for me, for doing a proof of concept point of view, like a POC side, it is good. It's fine. It works. But what happens when you are actually in your corporate, in your company, right? When you are in IT, when you want to make sure, because synthetic data gives you a good feel of how your tool will function, how your framework will function, but then it's not real time data, because real time data comes with a lot more variables to it. One big problem, for example, is data governance, right? You might have three different profiles for the same user in the hospitality industry. How do you manage it, right? Which one do you call? And then there is a lot, like how SSNs, your banking account details, your balance in accounts. There is a lot more which can a tool can generate through AI. If it's good, yes, it can. But if it's not, then you have to actually tackle it through some way. And the only other way to tackle it is to actually generate it in-house. So is there a tool which can do that for you in house, and then you can control the security of that data? Because things can go to dark web so easily now,
Yeah.
right? A lot of companies are still working with vendors on SOWs, contractors, and all. Like they use their own devices. How much is your test data secure? That's another factor which comes into it.
Mhm.
So uh, it's like test data creation, management, retrieval is a big factor, right? Companies are trying to get it in house as much as possible. Like for example, our company, we do have a data services team which takes care of it. They literally give us mass production data, right? And they do a monthly refresh of our non-prod environment so that we keep getting as close to production data, but it's still masked, and which is helped us a lot. But it still takes time to create test accounts, create a test profile, test personas, right? Because our scenarios are not as simple as it used to be a few years back, where it's just a basic e-commerce scenario, right? You go in, select something, check out, and that's it. No, like especially in a timeshare, you have owners, you have rentals, and you have to create personas for each of them. You have to create specific test profiles which you can use. Test test managing test data is way more complex than it used to be, and we need help, whether it's through some process or AI, to actually tackle it.
Interesting, very interesting. And one point that, while you were explaining this came out is compliance. And when we talk about a fintech industry, I think compliance is one of the main things.
Oh,
Uh, and you have touched upon it a little bit in terms of test data, but what's your take on that? In terms of
oh
compliance?
yes, basically, three things I think of: compliance, regulation, security testing, and data protection, right? Like regulation means you need to like keep up with the ever-changing landscape of legal and the regulations which are coming. Every country, even like I'm in US, every state has some of their own regulations, right? How do you manage it? Because you need a dedicated team to do that. We have actually a GRC team who helps us in that. Like it's so much crucial for us. We have a dedicated team to help us with regulations and compliance things. Then security is another. Like with compliance and security, they go hand in hand, very honestly, right? And then your data protection. Whether you have data is encrypted, when it's going out on network, what are your privacy controls, when the end user is interacting. Because ultimately, it's easy to create an application and release it to a customer, but then what happens if they get compromised? And specifically when you're dealing with thousands and thousands of customers, and like we have around 300 microservices,
Wow.
how much data we are flowing internally in the company and how we are securing it. It takes huge effort internally. So compliance and security goes hand in hand, and they are like, trust me, I think we work every day with them. They audit our each test case, each story we do. They make sure that we are not missing anything. We get audited on each of those things by our GRC team.
hmm Amazing. I think that's a very important factor. I think besides test data's compliance, I feel for fintech is going to be a very important factor. And I think with I've interacted with multiple customers and prospects, and I think one thing that came out is while they are really happy about what AI is going to bring them, but they are very worried about the security implications and compliance implications that it would have. And you touched upon some of the very key points there, from that perspective. So the final point that comes to mind is time to market, right? I mean, in terms of all these things kind of boils down to time to market, and automation, as you mentioned, is one of the key things for you, overall, uh, because that helps you speed up in terms of your releases and everything. What is the challenge that or challenges that you're facing in terms of test automation, or you think generally a software quality domain is facing? Yeah, can you throw more light on that?
First, the first thing which I see, it's our business, right? do our business, right? Does like our stakeholders, are they knowledgeable enough to even understand why we do automation? That's a big problem, because of course we all are working on capital projects. Our business is funding us, for whatever we do in our SDLC, and we need to make sure that means they actually make sure that they get value out of each dollar they spend on it. And then how do we justify even to them, right, that automation is actually helpful for them? Then comes what, that speed versus quality
Hmm.
discussion. So that's how we actually, tell them that, hey, it's speed and quality which you get with automation, because you tend to reduce human errors. You increase your release. You increase your releases, which you can do. You decrease your, deployment time and all those things. So educating business on the speed and quality features of automation, that has been a big factor for us. Thankfully, our business stakeholders have started getting more and more technical, so we are able to actually explain them what we are doing and why we are doing. But another thing is agile and DevOps integration, because automation does require time initially, right? It used to be like that, where automation used to take time, and it takes time to manage. And whether your sprints have some buffer time for your QA to actually keep maintaining your test, what happens if your automation pipeline fails? How do you tackle it? Does your QA get time? Because we struggle with that. Many times our deadlines are so aggressive that our QAs don't even get time to tackle certain issues which they face when their automation gives them reports. Then we have to make those hard decisions. Are okay, which error is high priority, which is low priority, can we tackle it later on? So there is a lot more discussion. So like with with uh, automation is actually evolving too, right? That and we are really looking forward to like features like self-healing. you know uh, um, I'll share a scenario, right? We do a lot of finance related applications, because it's a timeshare company. People buy timeshares, they have mortgages and things like that. One thing's like our resorts, which are in different states, each state have their own rates, interest rates, and then sales percentages and things like that. So many times it happens that a certain we created 10 scenarios on an application, and they all have a formula. That formula got impacted because a certain state has changed some numbers of their say sales tax. Now, how much time does a QA has to spend manually to go and change it? It will take time to
Yeah,
go and make those changes. And what if a tool can actually heal those tests, right? If there are interface. So we actually keep exploring those venues to optimize and keep updating our automation, because it's a need of time.
makes sense. Makes sense. Amazing. So, moving forward, yeah, let me summarize what we discussed, for the audience over here. So I think we covered taste data, which is a very important need, and a challenge. We also covered the scalability part of it, and I think scalability is big. I think from the process scalability to skills scalability to tool scalability. I think there's a lot of things that one can cover under scalability, but I think it's a challenge, and well accepted one at that. Compliance and security, I think it's a big challenge for everyone. And I think we talked about automation a bit in terms of a solution as well as a challenge. And then you have all this kind of brings the core challenge, which is time to market. I think in this current times there's this huge challenge in terms of going first to the market, responding to the customer at a breakneck speed, to deliver, and give value. I think that's driving most of the software development teams. They and they need solutions for that. So at this stage, I want to Harry, I want to open the first poll for the audience. If you can please help us with that. And audience, we need your inputs, my friends, in terms of what is your key challenge, or what out of these four things that we talked about, what challenge you see as the most important challenge for you. Harry, did we get the answers? For some reason, I'm not able to see that on my screen.
Yes, we did. Results are starting to come in now. Looks like we got 28% test data, 6% scalability, 12% compliance and security, and 54% said all of them, all the above.
Wow. So again, Sam, test data is one of the key challenges, but at the same point in time, I think, compliance and
I love my audience actually. I think they know the pain. I know. I think uh, maybe many of them are actually working in quality assurance domain, so they know day to day what problems we go through, because this is literally like uh, our pain too. I agree with them. It's literally all of them, because something might affect you during SDLC, something might affect you during deployment, and then other things affect you after your things go live. But I'm I don't want to say, but I'm happy to see the poll going that way.
yeah, it's kind of validation of what you're thinking, but at the same point in time, the pain is
I wish it would be just one, and I can ask people then, okay, how did you guys solve those issues?
right. Okay, moving forward. So, we talked about the challenges in software quality overall, but let's talk about how AI is changing it. So, let's jump into the AI snapshot today. And based on various research reports that we studied, and based on our own internal surveys that we did, we find that 80% of the enterprises are willing to go fully AI by 2027, and I think this is going to increase further. uh, uh, you know uh, Gartner reported, and this report is a little older one, but 30% AI in testing is growing by 30% year on year. But I believe that's going to go much, much faster. Uh, QMetry itself started, its AI initiative in 2018, 19 period, where we bought in the QQ bot, the flying bot that you see on the screen, behind me. And QQBot has already done has brought in a few use cases, or serving few use cases already, and it's adding more, right? So and I believe that this 30% would has changed after ChatGPT came out, right? So I think it's gonna really go beyond that speed. Uh, I think if you really, and Sam, you talked about it, but like test creation and maintenance is one of the key thing that people are talking about, where they want AI to help. 90% of them are saying that AI should reduce the maintenance time, and the test creation time for test automation. Uh, Again, there are a few other snapshots which you see. I think predictive and prescriptive analytics is one of the key features that we heard from even our customers, when they are saying that they want that to nip the problem in the bud. They really want to solve the problem before it occurs, and remove the defects out at the advent of the test project itself. So that's going to be an important factor that AI can serve. And I think there are a few other cases, but I think uh, the maintenance cost, maintenance time, and maintenance effort, and overall optimization of test cases, test suites is coming out as an important factor, right? So, Sam, what's your take on this? Do you agree with these figures? Is there something that you feel is missing over here? Is there?
Um, there are quite few, means so I'll tell you, right. One project I was doing, and something then we embedded into our company, is sentiment analysis, user acceptance testing, right? That's something people don't even think about it. For them, user acceptance testing is simply go like maybe performing a manually or automated way. You just create some test, and then you go and see whether the features are working or not. But what we even used AI for is sentiment analysis. That like the feedback which we are getting from our customers, right, our internal or external customers, right? We had a machine learning model go through those feedbacks, and then find the sentiment of the we did the promoters, detractors, and neutral, and then we just focus on the ones who were detractors, and then focus what kind of feedback they are getting. And I was not surprised, and I think our leadership was not surprised to see that top two problems they talked about is network and user experience on the applications. Where to find what, how to locate things, where can they find answer, that, oh, this process takes time, right? Or like all of those kind of issues. And based on then we started enhancing our applications. So this is like just one example of how AI was actually able to solve and grow with us. But then there are many other factors, right? Test automation first. AI codeless test automation is the biggest example right now in the industry, right? And I think most of the tools have a feature which I was talking about is self-healing the scripts, where they can actually correct and update test scripts based on certain changes they face. Then another interesting thing which is getting very common out there is visual testing, visual regression, what we call it, that they actually perform testing based on how your website is changing, and they give you feedback on it. Then predictive analysis, you already talked about, right? Then you have the performance testing and resource optimization, anomaly detection, like uh, then maintenance monitoring. You already talked about it. Test suite maintenance, real-time monitoring of your applications, and then there are certain applications which even can log defects. That the process can be made so automated using AI that it can actually track and monitor and make you very proactive in your quality assurance.
Mhm. Right, right. And I think, one more thing that comes out to mind is, from a AI perspective, is there's a lot of, there are two sides that, one is AI generated, automated test cases. That's one thing. You talked about self-filling, which has been there, but with AI, I think it can become much more potent. And then on the other side, the predictive part of it. Uh, in your uh, own assessment, what is more important for you as a quality practitioner?
Oh, in terms, you're talking about which AI feature will be the game changer, something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, in terms of that, I think, and looking at the scalability and day-to-day work, I think the self-healing, if
Hmm.
AI can improve that, that will be a big, big game changer because it can save a lot of time. If AI can, it's connected to the code, and then based on the changes in the code, it can self heal, or even if it's semi automated, right? That let's say we go and change, uh, like it's a test suite, we go and change one test case, and based on that it can self heal all other test cases, right?
Hmm.
That would be a big, big thing. Then for me, another part where AI can be really useful is data, like because your test scripts feed data, right? If
Hmm.
AI can synthesize, like either like synthesize and retrieve the data and handle that test data management, that will be another big, big thing. Like because both of these factors are something which annoys us day to day,
Hmm.
right? And like in terms of scalability, of course other features are very intriguing, and but many of them come late in the DevOps cycle, right? But what I was just saying, they actually come very early in DevOps cycle because we are continuously creating tests, running tests, and optimizing them.
Hmm. Right. So is, test optimization, specifically test asset optimization, an important factor for you? And specifically, if we talk about duplicate test cases or dead test cases, do you think that will also, AI should also help in that, to bring about more optimized, more efficient, test projects?
Yeah, I think that's similar to how data governance works for data quality, right? Like
Hmm.
similarly, if there is a test governance, a tool can perform those activities where it's reducing redundancy of your scripts. And I think I talk to my team all the time. I talk to them like, you better, like we have done naming conventions in a way for our automation. We have used the project structures in a way that, like, literally it's not just one project which can use it. It's literally IT wide. Anyone who's working on certain projects and they want to go and add a test case, they literally, it's easy for them to identify which project it can go in, and then find out whether there is already existing test there or not. But then of course it's a manual process. What if, AI can actually help us to locate it? Once you just, let's say you're creating a test case or a script, you gave a title to it, and just by title it auto recommends you. What if AI can do that? Just I'm saying, I'm just now hypothetically saying there is a lot which AI can do and help us to manage our test cases efficiently.
Mhm. Right, right. Great. I think that's great. So here's one more, summary in terms of what fintech is thinking about AI. And while the previous numbers were also staggering, this numbers is even more staggering for me. Like fintech executives are saying 90% of them are saying that they need AI. It's very important for their success and their business's success. And 80% or more than 80% of the companies are going to adopt AI or AI related testing practices. And costs, most of them are saying, more than 50% are saying that the cost is an important factor, and according to them AI will reduce the cost for them. And I think it stems from the idea that AI will optimize the test cases, it will optimize test coverage, it will help in maybe in terms of creation of test suites automatically, and some of those features, right? So I think it really is an important piece to the puzzle in terms of making software quality more precise and more proactive. So moving on, let's quickly jump on to what software tools can bring in. While we talked about overall possibilities of AI with software quality, let's talk about what is expected out of software tools, right? I mean, we did touch upon that in terms of automation. What is required, like self-filling and AI driven self-filling for test automation, auto test case generation. And here are some of the features that either tool vendors are working on, or they've already got some of them, or some of the research firms like Gartner are suggesting that one should go for based on their interactions with enterprise customers, right? So for example, generate test data for test case execution. We talked about it. Auto create test cases and steps using story description. Automated defect creation, for example, right? Summarize and provide actionable insights from reports. So these are some of the use cases. I want to understand your perspective on this, Sam, further in detail, if we can just take maybe few of them, and if you can give your 2 cents to it.
Yeah, means absolutely. Like, it's like, for example, like one thing. Okay, I just want to make one thing clear. Like, AI has such a room to grow from quality assurance. Like, because I have used maybe 2 3 different tools till now, right? And they all are built around the same features and architectures, right? But then what, there is so much more out there, right? Means, very honestly, like, I would say that once you generate a test case using an AI, right, it might give you 60% of your uh, test steps there. But then you have to go and optimize, assert 40% more, right? For example, the applications we use are actually many times, not all of the companies use ready to go applications. They need to customize them. They get more and more complex, which all configurations they have to do. You talk about all these content management systems like Salesforce and SAPs or anything. They are very very customized from company to company. Then I would love, and I know there are quite many tools out there who are growing their features aggressively, where AI can able to detect those complex configurations and give us automated test steps for the test cases. And those are That's one of the things we always look at our tool right now, right? The second thing we look at is the learning curve, which
Mm.
we didn't talk about today. That learning curve, right? How AI can reduce the learning curve for a specific tool,
True.
because those are no code or low code tools, right? You don't get exposed to code that much, but your QA, your QA should be still be able to understand how things are being done. They should understand how to put assertions into their test steps. They should be able to understand how to connect the test to your pipelines or to your database, or to a data source, anything. So what's the learning curve of your tool? Is it small, is it big? And then some extra features, right? How it interacts with other tools. You
Hmm.
have your task management tools, which interacts with your automation tools. You have your DevOps pipelines, which can be either on ADO, can be on AWS, can be on even as simple as Jenkins, right? How well do they talk with those?
Hmm.
So there is a lot which AI has covered till now in terms of features, but there is a lot more, and there is the room. The sky is the ceiling for AI, to be honest. It's just that I think it will get very customized from industry to industry soon enough, where a tool and AI can make them customize the tool itself for their own domain, right? I think I would love to have be experiencing those kind of performances from a AI test tool.
Amazing. No, that's a very good insight. I believe that uh, broadly, many of us, as a tool vendor, are trying to solve the same problem. Uh, but maybe there are problems that or solutions which we have not thought about, and we can definitely bring that into perspective and look at the entire development cycle as one, and not QA in silo. Maybe that's one more approach that one can look at, right? I mean, you talked about skills. I think our philosophy with our test automation tool is to really take it beyond the automation engineer, and also enable some of the other players who contribute in the software development lifecycle to use that tool without learning the coding part of it, for example, right? So yeah, I mean, really, really great points. So I want to ask our audience what they think about this AI features, or their expectations from AI in software quality. So uh, it's poll time. Eric, if you can share the results.
Yeah. Um, so we have 27 responses right now.
Mhm.
Um, 20% say A, auto create test case and steps using story description.
Mhm.
9% are saying B,
Mhm.
7% C,
Mhm.
8% D, 14% E,
Mhm.
9% F,
Mhm.
13% G, and looks like 20% H. And that
Mhm.
is in the lead right now.
Nice. Do we want to keep it open, or do we move on?
Uh, Up to you. We have 40 responses right now.
Cool. Okay, I think that's a good summary. But I think I do get it even from our own internal service that we did. Automated test case generation has somehow come out as one of the top thing. And then test data, as we discussed, I think that also is one of the important factors that has come out. And I think that reflects from the audience's poll. Sam, what's your take on that? Based on the results.
No, I think they are talking about the features they are looking forward in a AI in a no code tool, right?
Mhm.
And like maybe this should be a template for those vendors out there who are trying to create a no code automation tool for for audience, that this is literally what our end users are looking forward. So, and I think I agree with all these points, that personally when we look for all these features, because this makes it a end-to-end tool and end-to-end no-code tool, which will have a very less learning curve. And then, of course, every tools need monitoring. There will be surely some aspect of manual effort needed with it, but this will get it very close to what we call it automated DevOps process, where things are very automated, right from creation to execution, and then post execution monitoring and defect tracking, redressing. So yeah, I agree. I think they all are really good points.
Wow, cool. Thank you. So I think let's move quickly. Before we conclude this, I just wanted to give a quick idea to the audience in terms of what QMetry is doing as far as our AI initiatives go. So we do have few features already in our tool, specifically in our test management tool. So what you see on your screen right now is our flaky test case detection module that we have that provides the idea over here is to provide you the flaky score, which identifies the test cases which really needs work, and then over a period of time it also provides the execution performance of the test case, so that you can improve it over a period of time and improve the success rate of the test projects. We also, QQbot has been there for a while, and we have this efficiency feature, as we call it, which is detecting the duplicated test cases, which really does a deep dive into your test assets and finds out duplicate test cases. Also recommends you, while you are generating a new test case, that there is a similar test case available in the system. This is part of our test management tool right now, and it really helps you in terms of improving the overall efficiency per se. Um, uh, it also has predictive test coverage suggestions. So when you create your it provides you an overall idea to through our AI algorithms, that have you do you have enough coverage of for your test cases, right? So that's also an important feature that we support. And then finally, uh, here are a few other features that are in pipeline or in development, or some of them are already out. For example, generation of automated test cases is gonna be there. Query assistance, it's gonna be there as part of our tool. Auto generation of test cases and steps, as I mentioned, is will be there. We also are almost there in terms of releasing a learn on the fly algorithm, which will help you in terms of searching your testing assets or test assets smartly, and also finding solutions smartly using AI there. And then there are a lot of actionable insights related features that are coming in the future. So overall, we are focusing on two things. One is helping you create more optimized and efficient test projects, uh, reducing your time to generate those test cases, and the final thing is offering predictive and prescriptive features in future, which would help in terms of reducing defects and improving the quality of your software that you're producing. With that, thank you so much. I will open the stage for question and answers. Q&A. Harry, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Deepak and Sam, for your presentation. We had a few questions that came in for the attendees. Again, feel free to post your questions in the Q&A panel, and we'll try to get to as many with time permitting. For those questions we don't get to, our team will be reaching out with answers through email. And our first question is from Caleb. He asks, if software quality is so critical to so many IT executives, why is the general software experience across most websites and apps so bad? And why is there such a trend of companies also getting rid of dedicated software testing roles?
Sam, you want to take it?
Yeah, means I would say no. So basically, the industry, right? You see, the big companies are not abandoning testing rules. Literally, maybe they are moving it to offshore for some cost cutting and all. But I think the problem with so when you have a startup and a unicorn, I have worked with a couple of them. What they literally do is that the developers are the one who are doing quality assurance, so they actually don't have a specific quality assurance role till they get some second round or third round of funding, when they can expand their team, right? From there onwards, they keep growing and they start following those practices. But after that, I think the mid-level and big companies, they do have dedicated quality assurance. Now, are they manual, are they automated, right? Like what kind of processes they follow, that depends upon how much investment the business wants to do or the company wants to do in their quality assurance. Then of course other factors come into that. It's aggressive time to market, right? That many times they don't want to spend that much time on quality assurance, or they might just like do a basic uh, they might do in sprint testing, they skip regression testing, or they UAT testing is by beta testers. Like there are a lot more factors which come into. So as what I've seen is the market for quality assurance is like it's not changing a lot. Maybe people are trying to adopt tools depending upon how much budget they can spend. Many companies actually offshore their quality assurance to other countries. But besides startups and unicorns, other companies do focus and do stress a lot on their quality assurance team.
Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, I think we have seen that while there is definitely a pressure on quality, software quality teams, and there's a cost pressure, from a perspective of overall software development process, I think quality still remains key. People do invest in tools, people do invest in people, and I think it's not going to go away overall.
Absolutely.
All right. Next question from Aditya, who asks, what technology does the tool use under the hood to be able to generate test cases?
Interesting question. So we are using some of the our own algorithms. Plus, we use some of the algorithms which we all know about in terms of the AI models that we all know about. But I'm not at the liberty to really openly share those algorithms with you at this point in time. But in general, we use uh, uh, the in trend algorithms plus our own development around it.
Maybe I just want to add to that. So guys, it's just like when you're performing a test, when you are actually executing a test case functionally, the way I've seen these AI no code tools work is they literally record your actions on a browser. They have the web drivers. They actually record your test and then convert it. So the algorithms which Deepak is talking about, literally they are smart enough to catch your actions there. So it's literally a user perspective testing, and then AI converts them to a test case. But of course, technology is customized from product to product. And
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another question we have from Ryan, who asks, do you envisage sentiment analysis, mainly analyzing IT service management tool tickets or surveys that users are asked to complete.
So sentiment analysis is actually getting broader now, right? Our company itself uses two different tools to do sentiment analysis for our resort operations separately and for our internal customers, right? Our internal customers are, like you said, the people who are logging tickets, who are having issues with any of our internal or end applications. But then sentiment analysis also goes on your I'm just your Google Play Store, right? What kind of reviews people are giving on it, and how much of them are actually affecting IT. Like our team actually try to focus on the ones which, as IT, we can improve. Then it also goes on post vacation surveys we send to our customers who stays, and then we send them. We also give them um, features they can give, like feedback while actually staying with us, right? So we take feedback from both internal and external customers, but then they have other venues too. The how many incidents we got, and what applications those were against. So you are totally actually right that they both count for us as the venues to actually execute sentiment analysis, and we are actually exploring even more venues which we can explore, like customer onboarding, employee onboarding, right? Feedbacks on that. So sentiment analysis can actually help us, and because ultimately our target is after the analysis we divide the results into, okay, this is HR related, this is operations related, this is IT related, and then IT works on the problems, or sentiment analysis gives us, and then we prioritize them according to our future projects.
All right, and we have another question from Ramson who asks, do you take in application monitoring data, APM, to feed into your AI/ML models? This will enable real user monitoring data influencing test plans, cases, executions, etc., versus feeding it existing static data.
So again, let me,
And it's
yeah, please go ahead, Sam, and then I can.
Deepak. I was just, yes, means this is one of really a practical use case where, like, if you have a AI ML model embedded in your tool, like a, a test pipeline monitoring tool, a data pipeline monitoring tool. Like, I don't want to name other vendors here because it's QMetry, right? But then we have a lot of, like, good features coming out, this AI related tools which can actually feed uh, to your build pipeline, right? Can measure the coverage, can measure the what you call it, the security loopholes you have, plus then also can actually monitor your test pipelines. Then based on the reports they can optimize your, like, I think I was reading someone was talking about that, how, like, there are tools out there which actually, after execution, based on the execution results, they can actually log defects for you in your story management tool, right? Either, like, you talk about Jira, you talk about any, like, for example, Qmetry itself has two products, right? They both talk to each other, and if you execute a test on QAS, which is their automation studio, after execution it can actually log a defect in QTM, which is their test management tool. So yeah, Deepak, I'll let you speak
Yeah,
more
so
on.
it's a very good question, and again, I think it, in terms of how much you kind of encompass in terms of your analysis, and then improve both, or optimize and improve both on test asset side of things and test execution side of things. I think uh, it's an ocean out there, right? But what we cover ourselves is we try to get data from all the executions. For example, that's where for example, even the flaky test case management, for example, right? If you take that, it also takes the quality of the test cases itself, then it goes to the execution part of it. Then, as Sam mentioned about the automation. So you have automation projects, you have manual projects, and then you have CI/CD pipelines that also gives you an input. So all those inputs are kind of collated, and then the insight is created, right? Now that insight can, and I talked about the duplicate disk detection, for example. That also is part of the AI learning mechanism, which learns from continuously to find out where to improve, right? So the idea is that we learn from whatever sources available, and then apply it to create more efficiency, more optimized test cases, and then better exit test case execution, and overall a solid test coverage and providing end-to-end traceability, right? So these are the top uh, outcomes that we keep in mind while we do this work, right?
Well, unfortunately, we are at the end of the webinar hour. For those questions we didn't get to, our team will be reaching out with answers through email. On behalf of TechWall, I'd like to thank Sam and Deepak for their time and insights on building quality software with AI and our sponsor, QMetry. Special thank you goes out to our audience for joining us, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.